All right, guys, I'm just going to give it, there's a few minutes before we get started or anything. We have lots of people that don't get off until 6, so. Just gonna give it a couple more minutes, you guys, before we get started. Rachel, I have to tell you, ever since like I saw you drinking your smoothies and stuff out of your like plastic cups, now I'm like obsessed with doing that.
I know, it just makes them better. Believe me, there are people that do not think that it is awesome, and they tell me that on my social media.
Like, oh, I know. People tell me all the time, like, not to use the plastic and stuff. It's so.
I'm like, you come do my dishes then.
I like I try to like at least be kind of good. Like I save my coffee ones.
Yeah.
And, like reuse.
And I reuse my Energize ones like for weeks until like they're totally gross. But yeah. And I just I think it looks better on social media.
Yeah, I know.
That's important. It just is. And it's super convenient. Then I'm like, okay, if I'm like on the go, I'm like, ready to go. Now when I'm done, I don't have to do a dish.
Right? Okay, let me pull this up. Okay, I'm going to share my screen for a second, and we're just going to go over some recognition real quick. Okay, so first of all, let's see why does not let me click this. Okay, so it's the like end of the month, you guys, like end of the month. Like we have 2 days left, and I know I have some big goals that I haven't hit yet, so I'm still going after it. This should say Courtney. I don't know why it says my name. I'm at Success Club 38 right now. I don't know. It hasn't updated. Everyone's Success Club is always kind of slow. It's really annoying. But if you guys have updated numbers and you've gotten into the club now, make sure to let me know so that we can celebrate you. But I also wanted to shout out Caitlin. She was our top contributor of the month or of the week. And basically that means that she's up in the team page, adding value. Like she's not just in there taking from everyone else. She is commenting, she is recognizing other people, she's showing up. And so shout out to you, Caitlin, for being top contributor. And then Courtney was our top producer, which means that she has the most personal volume. So she has retention on her customers. She's helping a lot of people, which is awesome. So way to go, Courtney. With there being 2 days left in the month, you guys, it is time to lock in Success Club if you have not already. And I want to give you a couple quick tips on how to create urgency at the end of the month. Okay, so one of the biggest things you can do is you can say when you're messaging people or in your posts or in your stories or whatever, talk about how many spots are left. So, you know, creating that FOMO, saying there's only 2 spots left or whatever. I like to make people feel special. So when I'm sending those follow-ups and I'm like, hey girl, I know you were super interested. actually only have 2 spots left in the group and I have one of them saved for you because I would love to have you in there. Are you still wanting to rock your goals with me, or whatever it is? Like, I like to make them feel special. So I'll say that I have a spot saved for them, because then they're like, oh my God, it's saved for me. Like, okay, I'm in. So that's one thing. And then you can also use how many days are left to enroll. So you can say there's only 2 days left to enroll, or whatever you want to say, or we're starting on this date. Are you still ready to get, like, let's get you enrolled so that we can make sure to get your stuff in time. Like, that's something you can say too. You just want to create that FOMO. You can show like the spots filling up on your stories by putting the names of who's already signed up. Transformation pic, those always help your business. So post a transformation pic, or you can send in your message or in your follow-up, you can send some before and afters. Like, hey, I know you were super excited. We actually have our next boot camp kicking off on the 5th. I would love to get you in here. Here's some before and afters from the ladies last month. I would love to see you crush it with us, or whatever you want to say. But people like seeing those pictures can be huge. New coach mentorship starts tomorrow. So if you're a new coach on this call, way to go, because I see a lot of new coaches on here. I'm super stoked about that. Thanks for showing up for your first team call. And we have our new coach mentorship starting tomorrow. So you can use that as urgency to get coaches signed up too. I'm following up with everyone that was in the coach sneak peek that happened yesterday. And I'm telling them, hey, I have X amount of spots. The new coach mentorship call kicks off tomorrow. I don't want you to miss out. Are you in? Deals and incentives. So you can offer people incentives like cash back, where you can just Venmo them like $10 cash back if they sign up by by Halloween. Or you can say, you can give them something special. Like, you can give them a little notebook or a water bottle or whatever you want to do, a keychain. Like, you can do incentives. And you can also talk about deals. So you can say, like, right now, the Shift Shop Challenge packs are $20 off. So you can use that to help create urgency. I want to make sure to get you going while the sale is going, and save you some money. Like, that's huge. And then downsell people, or like give different options. So people might think 160 is expensive if that's the only option you give them. But I like to give them the picture of the different options so that, I can talk about a middle pack and then fall back on the 160 if that seems like too much. Also, if you have to, like, last resort, there's nothing wrong with, like, if someone's not ready right now, give them your freemium. Like, either plug them into our team-wide free group and give them that resource, or create a freemium. It can literally be a Google Doc that you just type up and talk about 3 tips for overcoming, like, stress or whatever you want, overcoming, anxiety, whatever you're passionate about. And that could be something that you send people and at least add value to them. And then at the end, you can put a plug for, like, your next group. Solve their problem with our solution. Like, people are not going to sign up if they don't see why this is the solution to their problem. So first, you need to find out their problem. But if you promote this as, like, connecting to those pain points and figuring out what people's problems are, then you can solve their problem with this as their solution. I know you have the goal to lose 10 pounds by Christmas or whatever. This group, like, you're guaranteed to lose 5 to 15 pounds in the next 3 weeks or get your money back. Like, solve people's problem with your solution. Real quick announcement, the Shift Shop Challenge packs are on sale, $20 off until November 7th. You can get in the exclusive test group, and your coaches or discount coaches can get in by purchasing or selling a Shift Shop Challenge pack. Coach Summit ticket. If you haven't bought your ticket, I do not know what you're doing. Like, $145 is insane. Like, it's never going to be that low again. Summit is the event of the year. Like, trust me, you're going to be like laying on your couch crying if you don't get there. Like, you're going to have so much FOMO. It's not even going to be funny. And if you're at all serious about wanting to build this business, you need to be at Summit. It will, like, change your life. You have to be there. So buy that ticket while it's $145, because that's crazy cheap, and you can earn that back by just hitting Success Club. Like, boom, done. Plus, if you hit Success Club in October, November, December, and you're diamond or below, you get $200 of cash, travel cash. So you're paying for your freaking ticket right there, plus your commission from Success Club. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so excited for this call, you guys. Rachel is a rock star, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear from her tonight. So if you don't know who she is, she's a badass. She is a mama, and she is 5-star in her first CBC, 2-star in her 2-star in her second CBC. She's a 6-figure-a-year earner. She's a retired teacher. She's a boy mom. She's locked in elite already for this year, which is a really big deal. She's advanced 8 diamonds this year, you guys. So her team is growing. She's not just seeing success, but her team is seeing success, and she's developing leaders, which is huge. I just want to make sure I'm not missing something in the chat. Where's some of that? Indy! It's that Indy.
My dog's going nuts. Hold on, let me grab him. Okay.
Oh, you're fine. So it's in Indianapolis again, which was so much fun. And don't worry about like the housing part, you guys. We always have a group thing going, and like last year we all stayed in an Airbnb together, so it was super cheap and super fun. So you'll have somewhere to stay with us. Don't stress about that. But Rachel is going to talk tonight about time management and how sexy it is, because she's like basically the master of time management. She's built a 6-figure business in 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in 1 to 2 hours a day. So I know lots of you guys, pretty much, well, everyone on this call basically works full time or is a mom or has something else. So mastering time management is definitely not my skill, and why I am so excited to be on this call, because I need this too. So Rachel, go ahead and take it away, and I'll stop sharing my screen.
Thanks, girl. Okay, guys, I'm so excited to be here with you and to share about time management, because I don't think time management like is a sexy topic, but the results that time management gives you in your business, in your life, is so sexy. So I want you guys to I really like it when people like use the chat and stuff, like while I'm presenting it, like just makes me feel good. So use the chat, like if you have a question and you think of a question or something, or if you're like truth bomb or something, just put that over there, because I think it helps like everybody else be on the same page too. And I love questions. So let me go ahead and share my screen, because if I didn't have a presentation, I don't always have a presentation when I talk on team calls, but for time management, I think it's so necessary, because otherwise I would just talk, and then that would not be effective time management. You would learn nothing. So I'm just kidding. You might learn something, but it wouldn't be effective time management. So let's get into it. So Cassidy told you guys a little bit about me, and she talked about this on my team call too. It's so like, I feel like I'm having an out of body experience when I hear my accolades, because I'm just like a regular person. I'm like, I was a teacher, I'm a mom, we just live in like a suburb. Like, I don't know, there's nothing like, I don't know, so special about me. I just feel like I'm super coachable. I've just made this business work for me because I chose to make it work for me. There's nothing like, to be honest, like I don't have a lot of like belly to belly friends, because I'm kind of awkward, like I'm kind of shy, I'm introverted. So this has been like a dream job for me, because I'm like, okay, I saw other people do it, and I'm like, okay, well, if they did it, like I can do it. Like I can be a hard worker. I can figure this out. So something important to know about me is I replaced my teaching income about a year into my business. And I always joke, because I was a teacher, like it's not really that hard to do. But so I literally chose to continue teaching because we wanted different things. It just wasn't a goal of mine to leave my business or leave teaching when I got into this business. And so I still grew to a 6-figure-a-year business while teaching full time. Like I was still doing, alone. Like I grew to that. And so literally I chose to continue working. I built my business on 1 to 2 hours a day because that's all I had, period. I would really like to go back and redo my time before I had a baby, because I think I had a lot of time I was not utilizing. But anyways, so I've, like gone through my coaching journey. I have moved twice, once with a baby. I have fixed up a home, and then I got married, and that in itself is just a miracle that I fixed up a house with my husband and then we still got married. And then I started my career as a teacher. How many of you guys have heard all of this crap as excuses before? I did all of these things while I built my business. I was pregnant, obviously, and then I had a baby. I was nursing. I was up 3+ times a night. I did 80-day obsession all while I was working full time. My team actually locked in Elite for next year while I was still at work full time, which is pretty cool, because then I think like anybody can make this business work. And actually my top coach on my team, she works full time too. Time management is actually just a skill. So a skill is defined as the ability to do something well or with expertise. And time management is defined as the ability to use one's time effectively or productively, especially at work. So a skill, just like anything else, is something that can be developed over time. Some people might have like a starting advantage, but anybody can learn any sort of skill, period. If I wanted to be an awesome basketball player, I could, if I was willing to practice and put in the work to have that become a skill of mine. People would laugh at me because I'm 5'0", but I could do it. It's a skill. Just like we tell our clients, or I tell my clients at least, meal prep skill. I didn't just wake up one day and I was like, I'm a boss in the kitchen now. I just know how to do all this stuff. No, I got up every Sunday and I practiced. It was slow and awkward and uncomfortable at first, but I got faster. And now I can meal prep in like 30 to 45 minutes. It's like, actually, I'm impressed with myself. So time management is the same thing. If you haven't done any of these tips that I'm going to teach you, it's going to feel arduous and slow and uncomfortable at first. But if you keep practicing it, it will become your norm. So I am a full-time coach now. And last week, my son goes to daycare 2 days a week for social interaction. And so on those days, I can get so much work done, but I like run errands and stuff too. But last week I didn't have any childcare so I was really only working about an hour a day, and I still got all my shit done. Because time management is a skill, I can just like fall back into this. No, it's nice now that I can take longer and I can listen to different team calls and trainings and extra stuff that I wasn't doing, which I'll tell you in a second. But it is 100% possible. I still helped 4 girls with a challenge pack and signed up 2 coaches. So even working 1 hour a day. So multitasking, first I'm going to start here, is actually bad. Our society puts multitasking like up on this like pedestal, like way up here, like, oh, if you're multitasking, like you must be a boss. No. Multitasking, no more. We are done with multitasking. Multitasking is so bad. So I assume not, because I know Cassidy's not. So I do this mom analogy, but because I'm a mom, but it can work for anybody. So because who's ever cleaned the place they lived before? Raise your hand. I can see you guys. So, okay. So if you ever started cleaning something, like maybe people are coming over or something, or your house is just like really trash, and you're cleaning and you're like cleaning up, like we have an island. So I'm like cleaning up the island. I like look in the sink. I'm like, oh my God, we have so many dishes. I better put those in the dishwasher. And then I like will glance over and I'm like, oh my gosh, well, no one cleared the table. There's like stuff, I don't know, like plates and stuff there. If we had a party, like cans, I don't know. And then I might look in the living room, I'm like, wow, I really need to vacuum. And so I might start doing that. And I'm like, well, no one picked up Leo's toys. So I have to stop and pick up Leo's toys. Okay, so if you do that, like this is a cycle, right? Like you can do this forever. And if at the end of 30 minutes, like you're physically spent, you're exhausted because you feel like you just bust your ass, right? And if you look around, how much did you get done? Like nothing, because you were starting and stopping all of these different tasks. You ever done that, like cleaning? You're like, what the actual, like I was just like cleaning for so long, but nothing is clean. It's the same thing in our business. If you are starting a task, like, okay, I'm going to invite, but oh, Chelsea just text me back or message me back. She's ready to join my boot camp. Better respond to her. But gotta go back to inviting. Oh, haven't done my post today. Oh, better get that going. Oh, haven't checked in with my challenge group. You're getting nothing done, and your brain is going so fast. You will be actually exhausted, like physically exhausted. This is why, like, when my coaches come to me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I worked so hard for the last hour." I'm like, "Cool. How many invites did you get out?" They're like, 2. It was awesome. I'm like, no, not awesome. Because if you should do something start to finish, one task at a time. So, for example, like when I was working full time, and I actually still kind of operate this way. So when you're doing invites only, 15 minutes, start to finish. At the beginning, it will feel slow and it will feel like you don't get a lot done. But if you do this every single day, you will get faster and faster and faster. And I actually made a game for this for my team, Transform 20 Inspired, because there's a little piece of that in Transform 20 when that comes out, you guys. It's awesome because I remember day one, I remember feeling like there's no way I could ever do more of that move in that time frame because I busted my ass. Like I went as hard as I could, but my agility increased, my strength increased, and my speed increased. Agility and speed might be the same thing. But anyways, and it's the same thing in your business. You will get faster at picking out the people who are your tribe. You will get faster at not picking out coaches. You will get faster at just knowing the buttons to click to quickly send out invites. You will get faster if you practice daily. So I spent about 15 minutes doing that. Copy, paste. Boom, boom, boom. That's all you're doing. Sorry. Oops. New messages, like new followers, new friends, something like that, new followers and likes and comments, things like that, just like connections. And then follow-ups take me a little bit longer. And this is, sorry, I don't know why I keep doing that. This is something I used to do daily and now I don't. I do it like weekly and I just like go hard for like an hour or an hour and a half and just like do all of my follow-ups at once. But anyways, that is really annoying. Sorry. I used to, when I did it every day, it would take me like 15 to 30 minutes. And I would just crank them out, but you have to make sure you're using some sort of tracking system. So if it's cool with you guys, I'm going to give you some awesome tangible tips to put into effect now so you can stop the burnout, like put that fire out, no burnout, and get you to your goals faster. So number 1 is no following coaches. No. Because when I was working full time, like I only had 1 or 2 hours a day. Guess what I did not have time for? Watching coaches' stories. No. That was, first of all, it wasn't always a thing. But like the last year I was teaching and I had Leo and I was so busy and I was pushing for 5-star. It does not move my business forward to see what other coaches are doing in their business, especially if there's somebody I look up to, because the comparing game is strong, guys. Even if you think you're resilient, you are not. Like when it comes to, like, that's just human nature is to start comparing. And don't worry, you have a search option. If you have extra time and you do all of your income producing activities that I'll talk about in a second, and you have time at the end of your day to watch some of your friends' stories, then by all means, reward yourself. But me following a bunch of other 5-star coaches pushing for like top 20 or whatever, or pushing for 15-star, seeing how they spent their day does not move my business forward at all, period. They're in no way, shape, or form. You can say, well, I draw inspiration. No, bullshit. You have to draw your own inspiration. And if you need someone's inspiration, I want you to still follow 2 people. 1, your upline. And if like maybe you're part of a behavior team, like follow Cassidy, like make sure you're following those people in your, just a couple people, like max 2 in your team, because you signed up with them and it's helpful to like hear how they're combating like objections and stuff. But that's it. And then I want you to follow like your success partner, somebody you're not competitive with. So for example, I have a friend in this business. We know each other, like we live close by and our sons are the same age, and we don't follow each other on Instagram. because seeing how Jamie spends her day with her son and her business does not make me a better mom, and it does not move my business forward, period. And for sure, I know that I do not use that search function on Thursdays because comparing game so strong when other coaches are shouting out their girls that rank advance, and maybe I don't have any to shout out that day. Do you know how easy it is to get in your own head when you're seeing what other coaches are doing? It is so easy. So do yourself a solid and just don't follow a zillion other coaches, because it just doesn't serve you. And I know some people find it really hard to do the hit that unfollow button. Doesn't mean you don't love them, but it is way too tempting to have those bubbles at the top of your Instagram feed. And I don't even have that kind of willpower myself. So I know nobody else does. And I have a lot of willpower. So just unfollow them. You can use the search bar at the end of the day when you got your stuff done. I was going to say something else about that, but I forgot. And I know this is hard. And I feel a little bit hypocritical saying this just because I was very similar to Cassidy. Like, I just didn't follow coaches at the beginning of my coaching journey, like top 10 who. I was like, who is that? People were like, you should know who that is. And I was like, well, I don't, because I'm over here like working my business. Like, I just didn't understand. And like at my first summit, I was baby coach at my first summit. And my coach was like, you don't know who that is? And I was like, no. She was like, oh my God, you have to follow her on social media. I was like, why? Like, I just didn't really get it. I mean, I get it now because I'm friends with a lot of these other coaches, like at my level. But seeing what they do in their day-to-day business or in their day-to-day lives doesn't move my business forward. You hear me saying that a lot. And like my best friends, like girls that stood up in my wedding, like my sister-in-law is like, I don't know how they spend their day-to-day. I don't need to see how other coaches are spending their day-to-day. Because the fastest way for you to kill something special is for you to compare it to something else. And your coach journey is so freaking special. Please do not compare it and squash it. Okay, number 2, this is the other major thing I want you to take away from my presentation, is stop answering messages on the fly. Who's ever answered a message on the fly? Raise your hand. I have. Oh, yep, everyone has. Because it's so hard not to. I know Cassie said some of you guys are new coaches on here. Great. Do not answer messages on the fly. Never, ever, ever. Because I'm going to tell you why. We've all been there. It's so exciting to have a prospect of a sale happening, but in reality, it's not sexy. How many of you guys were like, I don't want to be salesy when I get into this business? Yeah. Okay. Everybody. Hey, if you're answering messages on the fly, you look super salesy. I'm just going to be like super blunt about that. It makes you look salesy and desperate for the sale, and you're not. I promise you are not desperate for $40. Promise you, you are not. And it doesn't put stock into your business, because if you are constantly answering their messages, like you're always on your phone, you're not present for your family. First of all, you're ripping off everybody, including yourself. If you're not present for your family, they're getting ripped off. You're not fully invested in that conversation because you're trying to like mom and do other things, or make dinner or whatever. So it's not fair to anybody. And then you're going to lose out, because when you might sign them up, sure. And then you come back and you're like, hey girl, have you ever thought about being a coach? And they're like, ooh, no, thank you, because I'd have to be on my phone all the time. And you can't tell them otherwise, because you are on your phone all the time. You're always answering their questions. They're like, I don't want to do that for anybody. Thanks for always answering my questions, but I don't want to do that. So no answering messages on the fly. And number 3 is just to do your crap, and don't be distracted by the time wasters. Get the crap done that needs to get done. So think first, what is going to move your business forward? Those are the things that need to get done first. These are your IPAs, your income producing activities, your invites, your follow-ups, your messaging new likes and comments, and new followers. And last is responding to messages, because it's a rabbit hole otherwise. Like if you start there, you're never going to get out of it, because new messages are always going to be coming in. Then when you have time, that's when you can do the other stuff. posting in your challenge groups, checking your team pages, watching other people's stories, doing the extra training. But those things don't make the income producing activities list. They are actually NIPAs, non-income producing activities. You see my dog? Look at him. He's so weird. Okay. And so stop doing the crap that doesn't matter. Stop doing it. Okay. There's never going to be a perfect training that gives you magical unicorns and rainbows in your business. It does not exist. So stop looking for it. Every top coach will tell you they got to top 10 and they saw like an explosion in income in their business and whatever by doing the vitals. Like you'll never hear anybody like, I did it because this one training, that person that made that training would be a zillionaire and they would, yeah, it would be, everyone would be doing it. So I'm not like shitting on training. So if you're going to do one and go all in, do the training, do it with fidelity. And like, I did this one when like pages were like the thing. I did this training and I invested in it. So I was like, sure, I'm going to get the results he said I was going to get. And so people would message me like, well, Rachel, like, how are you getting those results in your business or on your like page? And I was like, well, did you do homework assignment XYZ? And they were like, yeah, I tried it once and it didn't work. And I was like, yeah, well, I did it 99 times. And then on the 100th time, that's when it worked. And like, that's the difference when you're trying to figure out if a training is going to work, just how hard are you willing to go? How often are you willing to show up? I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but you get what I'm saying. So some of my extra like tips is to create the joy in things that like don't necessarily bring you joy. Like it's a business, let's be real. Not everything is going to be like, yeah, I love doing this, but there's ways to like make it more fun. So if you don't love doing invites, set a timer. Make it a game. See how many you can get in today and then beat your score tomorrow and keep doing that. And do mindless activities while you're multitasking. So like my husband and I really like to watch like Bravo and like MTV, like junk shows. So I can totally do random stuff like editing my photos for Instagram. Like I can do that stuff while we're sitting and watching a show. It doesn't need my full attention. Whereas conversations, they need my full attention. Like clients deserve that. And I do the same for my family. If I'm with my family, my phone is not out. Like, and if it's out, like I'm not doing coach stuff. I'm just hanging around. And then set up some things that work for you while you sleep. So these are some things that take a little bit of extra time, like when I was working full-time, like the weekends, and get yourself organized so that you feel like a boss and have this stuff in place. So like on your Instagram profile, you should have places to collect interest for your boot camps and for joining your team, both. Even if nobody fills them out, like look legit and feel legit about that like, hey, I have an application. Have you filled out my application? Like, see, that sounds different. Like it's just a connotation too. Have info on your profile. Like if you're on using Facebook, info on your profile pic and your cover photo, like how to contact you, and utilize the linked groups on Facebook. So if you're running like a sneak peek into coaching, like have those groups linked to like your boot camp. So you never know when Chelsea is going to see it and maybe you are physically sleeping. So you didn't physically send her a invite for it, but she saw that linked group and she's actually been wondering about coaching. So she joined. And that happened like while you were sleeping, you know. Number 5 is get efficient AF. I'm going to tell you some little hacks to save a bunch of time. I'll make this bigger in a second, but make sure you're using conversation guides or scripts, whatever you call it. Because if you're working full time, like you do not have time to type out a response every single time. Oh my gosh, that's a huge waste of time. The way you run your boot camp or challenge group, whatever, doesn't change. So your verbiage doesn't need to change. Like you type it out once and then it's your words, like copy paste, like don't make it crazy. And then I'll make this big so you guys can take a picture of it. My team nicknamed this donut texting. It's really quick keys. And I think this is rolling out to most Instagrams. Mine just got it. So I don't know if everybody's has it or not, but it's just setting up quick keys. So in theory, I could type donut or I could put the donut emoji and like a whole chunk of my script will populate in 1 second. So you can have it say whatever. Don't use words that you actually use when you're texting. But like, for example, I can write like pack one, and all of my script for my package options, like, hey girl, or like, let's pick out your package. We have lots of different options for enrollment. This is my favorite package because XYZ. Let me know what you want to pick out, and we'll get you set up. So all of that populated in 1 second when I typed pack one. So it just makes it a lot faster, like on Instagram. I don't have to go in between other apps to copy and paste. Like, that's a huge time waster. And when I found out about this, I was like, I want to redo on coaching, like on my the past 3 years, like, I'm pissed. But anyways, it's a lifesaver. So set this up. This will take like legit 7 minutes for you to set up, and it will save you hours. Like a lot. Okay, and then create a schedule and stick to it. So depending on your schedule, like just create a schedule. Like, schedule your workouts, schedule your family time. There is nothing wrong with that. I know it sounds kind of weird and rigid, but just do it. And then schedule your work time. Schedule the thing, calls, and schedule the time that you're going to be sitting down and working your business. So when I was working full time, I was up at 5 and ish, depending on how many times I snoozed, and I would get my workout in. And then I would like haul ass to school, and I would work until I had to like start teaching, and I'd make sure my stuff was ready for the day for teaching. And then I would work my business hard for like, I probably had like 40 minutes. And I went hard. And if other teachers would come in the room, like, they would know, like, they would like try to talk to me. And if it was just like casual chatting, I'd be like, okay, I have to do this. And they'd be like, okay. And so I had a teacher friend, like, she just liked to talk. So she would like sit by me, and like, she totally didn't mind. I was like, I have to work my business, like, she knew. And then like, it was hard, but I worked on my lunch. I only got like, after I went to the bathroom and warmed up my food, like 20 minutes. And I know there's other coaches who said like they weren't willing to give up their lunch. Like, no, it was hard, but it was worth it. Like, hello, I'm home now. Like, those 20 minutes, I'm telling you, I can get so much done in 20 minutes. And they were 20 minutes that I couldn't find anywhere else in my day. So it needed to come there. And I did showcase that on my social media. Like, hey, I'm working during my lunch. Here's a cute picture of my food, but I'm working, like, making it work to fit all of this in. And then I left all the other times during the teaching day, like, I was teaching. And then I left at the end of the day, and then I was a mom only until my son went to bed. And because it's really hard to work your business if you have a really active child like I do. And it's really easy to get distracted. And so once he went to bed is when I would come in my office and sit down and work at night for about an hour to an hour and a half. And just depending on how much I had to do. And you guys, that was so hard. It was really hard at night that I was so tired from teaching. Teaching is physically and mentally exhausting. I had a new baby, and I was still doing like wife stuff, like cleaning making sure the house was clean, cooking, and like my mom was helping and stuff. But like, it was hard. And I was running a business, but my goal, my bigger picture was so much bigger than that moment of being tired. I dragged my ass in here, and I would sit down and grind. I would not sit in here and scroll on social media. I would not sit in here and stare at my back office. I wasn't even checking my back office every day, because that is not an income producing activity unless I knew I needed to like get somebody in my boot camp or something, but that's so I just didn't, I cut the time wasters, because they're a huge waste of time watching other coaches on social media. And I just like did my stuff, because that's will take you to the next level. Something fancy. And obviously it's so important to just do your vitals. You have no business doing this business if you aren't doing your own work on yourself. So I should always feel like I need to say that. So that's it. What questions do you guys have?
Oh my gosh, that was awesome. Like, I have so many notes. I'm so excited, and I took so many screenshots. I know that I'm sure some of you guys have questions, so please chat them in or unmute yourself or whatever. But I actually have a question for you. So what are you using to track, because obviously, like, part of time management, I think a big part is we can spend a lot of time wasting time tracking stuff too. And so I'm just curious what you found has been most efficient for you as far as tracking.
So for like a long time in my business, like 3 years, I used Teamsy. And I love Teamsy. I have nothing bad to say about Teamsy, but I recently switched to Streak. And I think that would have saved me time if I would have been confident collecting emails, because you can do bulk actions. But I really think it's just getting confident with any sort of tracking system and just feeling like you know how to go in quickly and know who to follow up with. And I wasn't doing anything. Still don't do anything crazy with tracking. I basically just need to know like who to follow up with, essentially. And so that's what I was using Teamsy for, was like, tell me who to follow up with. I did it, cranked it out. Like, honestly, I feel like that's how I built my business, was follow-ups. But I think all tracking systems have pros and cons. It's just like going all in and just knowing how to use that system to your advantage in your business. But I use Streak now, and I'm obsessed with Streak.
Yeah, I use Streak too, and I used to use Teamsy as well. So that's funny. But I have found too the same thing. Like, it's more so just picking something and sticking with it, because I, like, for a while was, trying to find all the right tracking things and trying out all these different things that, like, I was just wasting time doing that and switching back and forth instead of just, even if it's like literally a notebook, like today, like, I still use a notebook. Like, I will write down the things that need to get in my Streak if I'm not at a time where I can do it. And then I will put them in there, but I like got to get them down somewhere. And so even if you use like Ashley's notebook method or for inviting or whatever, just like have some sort of tracking system, because otherwise, you guys, people will fall through the cracks. I used to do just pen and paper, but that was the problem. I felt like people were falling through the cracks because it's really hard to like keep up with like 2 years worth of pen and paper of all these names. Like, you're just not gonna, like, you're not a robot. You can't do that. So
for sure. And I felt the same way, like going all in. So I had actually wanted to switch to Streak for a while, but it wasn't in my wheelhouse, like for a while, like while I was working full time. Like, it was just a non-option. It was something that just was back burner, because that's not something that was going to explode my business. Now I love it. It makes way more sense to my brain, and I like it. But tracking is tracking, and that's the same thing with like other trainings. And I didn't get to do stuff like this, like speak on team calls, because it wasn't an immediate need. Does that make sense? Like, so I would say no to other things. Like, I had the opportunity to use a tracking system, a different one that like had launched for free, and it would have taken away from the important things in my business. So I said no. And sometimes saying no is hard, but it's necessary to move forward.
yeah, no, I totally agree. And I tried Streak a long time ago and didn't like it because I was trying to track everything. Like, I was trying to track way too much in there.
Yeah.
And so it overwhelmed me. But now, like, I have it down to like what works for me. What's your top 3 PD books?
Oh, that's a good one. I love The Energy Bus. I think that's like a hidden gem.
I'm reading that right now. I love it.
Love that.
I love it. I just started it.
My all-time favorite book is Get Rich, Lucky Bitch, and hardly anybody in the network reads that. And it's an amazing book if you want to manifest more money in your life. And I think you should listen to it on Audible, because she has an Australian accent, so it's so good. Obviously I like Girl Wash Your Face, but everybody says that, so let me pick a different one. Hold on, let me look. I feel like they all like blend together after a while. I'm reading Dare to Lead right now. That's pretty good. Oh, I really like Being Boss.
I've seen that one, but I haven't read it yet. It's on my list. I have like a huge list. I feel like it's always growing.
I also love The 10X Rule. was a fave.
Yeah.
The 10x rule I tried to read at one time, and it was just like, nope, I couldn't even listen to one word Grant Cardone was spewing in my ear. I was like, this sounds like nails on a chalkboard. And then I picked it up like 2 months later, and I was like, I can't even put this down. It was so it's just funny how different it just speaks to us at different points in our life. Those are my
I was talking about that on your call.
Yeah.
And too, like, sometimes audio, sometimes I need the physical book. Like, it's weird how that works too. Like, some people I'm like, nope, I can't do your voice. And some books I love the audio.
Yeah.
What did you do to get that motivation to work during the times that you don't feel like it?
So this is what you talked about on our team calls. I had to get super freaking clear on a goal. So I'll like paint you guys a picture. So for me, like I said, I had already matched my teaching income, and I was like comfy at our income with teaching, but I said to my husband, I was like, I want to stay home more than anything. And he was just like not really on board. He was like, I don't want you to leave teaching. And I remember like being in this office, like crying after another discussion. And I was like, you have to tell me, like, you have to give me something that I can earn this. And he was like, when you're consistently making $2,000 a week, I'll be on board. And I had to make him say like what consistently meant. And like, I needed to get crystal being clear about what that looked like. And you guys, like, I want you to understand, I was not close to that income goal at all. And I did it because every day I would come in here and I was like, I'm working for it. I'm working for it. Like, I can do it. I've seen people do it. And every Thursday when I check my paychecks and I would add up my business centers, I would envision on my calculator seeing 2000, and every week it would climb. And if it didn't, I was like, gut check. What did that last week look like? Was it something I did? Was it something I could control? I can control how many invites I send out. I can control if I come sit my ass in this chair and get to work. I can control if I scroll social media. So this is like everything Cassie was saying on my team call, but I had to get so crystal clear on that. And it's funny because just a volume shift in my team as it grew and stuff, but we've had like just a different type of year, but my income hasn't really grown substantially since that time. And part of it is business dynamics. And part of it is I don't have another why. I don't have another clear cut goal like that. Something pulling me so hard. Like, I needed to be home because it's showing up when it's inconvenient and when it's really hard is really hard. And if you don't have something pulling you in, it's really easy to not do your crap. It's so easy to do it.
I fell into that same thing. And like, I had this, like, in the beginning, like everyone's talking about your why. And I was always like, I just want to help people. Like, I just didn't really have the why because I didn't start this for the income. Like, I thought it'd be a bonus. But so I had that why of like wanting to help people, but really that dug deeper to me, like my purpose in life, and like that helped. And then that why will like change over time. So then it grew, and I was like, well, this is awesome. Now I'm bringing in like this much. Like, I want to leave my full-time job. Like, I don't want to have to go to that job that I don't want to take. And so that was like a big goal for me. And then once I made that happen, it was like, what's the next thing? Like, you have to keep growing, or like if you're not growing, you're dying. Like, I totally believe in that. And like, your goals have to grow with you too. And that why is going to change over time. And like, I had this happen to me where I kind of like hit that wall, and things like weren't really that fun anymore. And I didn't really have that like drive every day because I didn't have that strong why. Like, I had hit the goals I set. And so I was just like chilling, like, this is cool. And then I was, I want to go to that next level. Like, I needed to redefine, why was I doing this? Like, what did I want from this? And what was that like big thing that was going to pull me to the next level? Because if you don't have that, it's so easy to like put it off and not make it a priority, but if you're like someone's going to die if it doesn't happen, you're going to do whatever it takes. So like, you have to find that why of like, do whatever it takes, no matter what your goal is, how big or small it is. like whether it's income or rank or, you know, like your own health and fitness journey, like whatever it is, you've got to find the why or you're not going to show up.
100%.
How did you use your pregnancy to benefit your business during and after?
Okay, so my pregnancy totally exploded my business. My husband always jokes like, so he really wants to have another baby. So he's like, he's like, don't you want another boom in your business? Like, and he's only like half joking because it really took my business off because I let it. I wanted it to. And so I was really honest about my struggles with the solution being my business and our like boot camps. Like I showed up, I worked out every single day, like you know, like 5 to 6 times a week. My whole pregnancy, I worked out on the day I delivered Leo at 41 weeks pregnant. I don't wish that at 41 weeks on anybody, but I did it. And I, you know, like those are my workout pics now, like they are not like, do not get a lot of engagement. Pregnancy workout pics, like, yes, they get so much engagement because it's like adorable and like sharing that it's so good for you. And honestly, I don't know that I could have gone through my pregnancy without being active because and I just was really honest with that like whole journey and sharing that like I was a super big baby in my pregnancy. I'm really small, so it's just really hard on my body, and my son like kicked my ribs out a lot. So I was just sharing like I'm struggling and I'm still showing up. And I think that's honestly why it served me so well, is because again, I showed up when it was hard. It would have been so easy to sit my ass on the couch and gain way more than what I did. I gained like 40 pounds. I could have gained like double that because society has me set up for that life. It is way harder to show up and build a fitness business while you're pregnant. And people just like really responded to that. And again, it's just showing up when it's hard. And then after I went, first of all, I did the same thing with breastfeeding. Like I shared that it was so hard and it was, but it was rewarding. It's the same thing as working out, right? I mean, it's the same thing, period. And giving them the solution that I was figuring out how to lose the baby weight while maintaining my supply. And sorry if you guys aren't moms, probably like KTMI, but that's like a really hot thing for moms. Like they don't want to lose their supply. Like breastfeeding is life, and but they want to lose the weight. So I figured out how to make that happen. And then when it was time for me to like go all in, like you guys, like my best results ever have been while I was breastfeeding and I did shift shot for 3 weeks. Like my postpartum results are like nuts. And I knew that going into that program, like I have to get these results for my business. And that's what I'm doing with Transform 20 now, because Lord knows I would love a donut. And it's not to say like I have been perfect. I have not been perfect, but it makes it so much easier when you feel like you're showing up for more than just yourself. Like, and I'm motivated by money. So I show up for my bank account. I show up for my paychecks because I know that me saying no to that donut on Sunday when my husband was like, I want to get donuts so bad. And like, I could have said yes, but I said no because I would like a pay increase. Like I view it as giving myself a promotion. And that's kind of how I work everything in my business. And you know, like I'm excited to go through when we have another baby and using Instagram stories as like my diary to share a lot of that stuff, because to be honest, like I'll probably share a lot earlier. Like I know it's like the norm to share you're pregnant when you're like 3 months, but that's like kind of old school. And so I'll probably share earlier, because if I were to go through a miscarriage, I would share that on social media now, not because I'm extroverted and I love talking about hard things, but because it's therapeutic to talk about things that are hard and things we're going through. I do the same with my postpartum anxiety. That is not a fun thing to experience, but it is therapeutic to talk about, and you find people who relate to you. So that's kind of the long answer on how I use pretty much everything to my advantage, all of my life experiences.
I'm the same way. And like, I think it's so important to use your struggle as your strength, but you have to spin it to win it. Like, you can't just share the struggle, like, oh, this
Yes.
shit's hard, but like, how are you overcoming it? Like, what are you doing? Because that's what, like, people are they're gonna see themselves in your story, and they're gonna see, like, what's gonna attract them to it is the fact that if she can do it, like, maybe I can do it too. If Rachel can go through like this and still do it, then like I can show up when I don't even have a kid. Like, that's what, like, Emily Favre talked about her business blowing up during 80-Day Obsession, because she shared that she did her freaking workout with rocks at Disneyland or whatever. Like, she picked up rocks and did her workout because she didn't have weights and she was in the middle of Disneyland. And she shared that. And so people were like, well, damn, like, if she can do it with rocks at Disneyland, then there's no way that I can't show up for a 30-minute workout in my freaking basement. So I think that's huge. And then that's so funny about the, like, having a baby blowing it up, because Nate's always like, I can't wait till you get pregnant. Like we should have a baby so you can blow up your business. But it truly is like what you do with it, like people are always like, oh, Ashley Molstead, like, she went viral, that's why her business blew up. But like, I know other people that have gone viral but didn't do anything with it. Like, it's all about what you do with it. And you don't need to have a baby or go viral to have a successful business. Like, it's just about what you do with what happens in your life.
Yes, exactly. And so I remembered Emily saying that too. And like, we're doing a kitchen rental. So for like 3 weeks, I did not have a kitchen, like no stove, no microwave. Like, it was a straight up shit show. And I was like probably annoying on my social media with like, I was like, I don't even have a kitchen and I'm staying on meal plan by eating cold things. Like, I just figured it out. And so that's what people are going to remember. Like, Rachel did Transform 20 with no kitchen for half of it. I have a kitchen, so I could probably do Transform 20. And so, yeah, like, and I was sharing like how I was figuring it out, because that's an important part of it.
Yeah, like I was sharing about when I was in Vegas, like how I was staying on track while I was in Vegas and stuff. And like, people like brought their steps in their suitcase. Like, we did whatever, we had to do. And obviously we don't expect everyone else to go to the extremes that we do, but people are going to like do half of what you do, So if you're not like fully in it, then people are never going to even be like half in it, kind of thing. Okay. I don't want to like keep you super late, cause I know like you're in Eastern time zone, but does anyone have any last minute questions? Otherwise we will let Rachel go. Everyone like loved this call, so you're awesome.
Hey, I'm so glad. Time management, put it into action, guys. You can do it.
Oh, Hannah, yeah, what did you want to share? You can unmute yourself if you want.
Okay, hey guys. I just wanted to share because I'm super excited. I am signing up my coach to go Emerald on Wednesday. I just met with her today in person.
Yay!
I'm just really excited because I've been working really hard for the past month and didn't have like my mom or anyone that was like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this for you. I had to really work hard for it. So it honestly made it that much more worth it to me and more exciting because I really worked hard.
And that whole like not giving up, like it would have been really easy to give up. And I know like you've been working really hard and it's that compound effect. So that is awesome. I'm super excited for you. And it just shows like, what will happen if you just don't give up and you keep going anyways. Cause it's that struggle and like, it's how you react to things, are you going to give up when it gets hard, or is your why strong enough that you're going to keep showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it, and know that eventually you'll get there. Awesome. Okay. Well, that is all, but first we need a picture. Some people hopped off already. Let me do this. Okay. If you guys can turn your camera on for a second, that'd be cool. Yay. I hate when the picture has all these like random names in it. Okay, smile. Thank you guys. And I will post the recording because there was like 8 people that messaged me, I can't be on the call. Can you please record? Please record. So I recorded. I did not forget this time, and I will post it. And thank you again so much, Rachel. If you guys like have any questions pop up or you need something from the slides or something, like let me know and I can definitely chat with Rachel. But thank you so much for being on the call, and I love you guys. Let's crush this week and the rest of this month. There's only 2 days left, so rock it out, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.